This is the moment we have been waiting for. The dam has finally broken. The news that has just come out of the House of Representatives is not just a political development, it is an earthquake that is shattering the foundation of the Trump presidency. We are watching the collapse of the greatest criminal enterprise ever to occupy the Oval Office. You need to understand exactly what has happened because the headlines do not do it justice. 47 Republicans, members of his own party, people who have stood by him through scandal after scandal, have finally defected. They have crossed the aisle. They have joined the opposition. And as a result, the third impeachment of Donald Trump has not just begun, it has exploded onto the floor with 212 votes already secured to move forward. This is the end of the line. This is the moment where the fear of the truth finally outweighed the fear of the tweet. Do not let anyone tell you this is business as usual. This is unprecedented. To have 47 members of the president's own party look at the evidence and say enough is enough is a historic repudiation of a man who thought he was a king. And why did they do it? Why now? They did not do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They did it because the evidence regarding the $200 million offshore account in Qatar, evidence I spoke to you about just days ago, was so damning, so undeniable, that they knew if they did not cut ties now, they would go down. With the ship, they saw the bank records. They saw the communications between the Trump family and the Qatari officials. And they realized that this is not just corruption, this is treason. I am telling you this as someone who has been in the room, as someone who knows how these people think. These 47 Republicans realized that Donald Trump has stolen the power of the purse from Congress. They realized that by funneling Venezuelan oil money into a private account in the Middle East, he stripped the legislative branch of its most fundamental power, the control of government spending. Even his most loyal sycophants understand that if a president can fund his own operations with seized foreign assets, Congress becomes irrelevant. They voted for impeachment, not because they love democracy, but because they love their own power, and they realized Donald Trump was rendering them obsolete. You must pay attention to the number 212. That number represents the coalition of Democrats and the bravier, perhaps just desperate Republicans who have decided to uphold their oath of office. It is a number that screams to the world that the United States of America is not the property of one man. It is a declaration that we will not be ruled by a shadow treasury. It is a declaration that the Genius Act and the Freedom Cities and the surveillance state being built by Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are un-American. The explosion of support for this impeachment inquiry is the immune system of our democracy finally kicking in to fight off a fatal infection. Make no mistake, the White House is in absolute chaos right now. We are hearing reports of shouting matches in the West Wing. We are hearing that the president is threatening to fire everyone from his chief of staff to the White House doorman. He cannot believe that the firewall has crumbled. He thought he had intimidated them enough. He thought that by revoking my security clearance, by threatening to arrest his political opponents, he had shown enough force to keep the Republicans in line. But he miscalculated. He pushed too far. He showed them that he has no loyalty to anyone but himself and his tech oligarch donors. And now the rats are fleeing the sinking ship. Do not look away, because this is where it gets dangerous. A wounded animal is the most dangerous kind, and Donald Trump is wounded. He sees the writing on the wall. He knows that 47 defections in the House will likely lead to a conviction in the Senate. He knows that he has lost his grip on the narrative. And so you can expect him to lash out. You can expect him to try to use the military or his private security contractors to halt these proceedings. He will call this a coup. He will call this a deep state conspiracy. But do not believe the lies. This is the Constitution working exactly as it was designed to work. This is the checks and balances asserting themselves against a tyrant. I want you to understand the magnitude of the betrayal that led to these defections. These Republicans saw the intelligence that the Trump administration tried to hide. They saw the proof that the stablecoin USD1, backed by World Liberty Financial, was being propped up by the sovereign wealth of a nation we invaded. They realized that the United States military was being treated like a mercenary force for a cryptocurrency scam. That is what turned the tide. It was not the mean tweets. It was not the chaotic rallies. It was the money. It is always the money. They realized that Donald Trump was selling off the credibility of the United States dollar to line his own pockets, and that is a bridge too far even for the modern Republican Party. We are watching the MAGA movement fracture in real time. For years, they told us that the party was united. They told us that Trump had total control. But today, with 212 votes on the board and climbing, that illusion is shattered. The 47 defectors are just the first wave. Behind closed doors, there are dozens more who are waiting for the right moment to jump. They know that the Freedom Cities project is a disaster. They know that giving Elon Musk a seat at the cabinet table was a mistake. They are seeing their own influence evaporate as the tech oligarchs take over the government, and they are terrified. This third impeachment is different from the first two. The first two were about political maneuvering. This one is about criminal liability. This one is about a paper trail that leads directly to a bank account in Doha. There is no spinning this. There is no perfect phone call defense. There are wire transfers, there are signed contracts, there are emails. The evidence is cold, hard, and irrefutable. And that is why the vote count is exploding. That is why the floor of the House is in pandemonium, because for the first time in a long time, the truth has entered the building and the lies are burning up on contact. You need to ask yourself what this means for the future of our country. If this impeachment succeeds, it stops the consolidation of power that we have warned you about for months. It stops the privatization of our currency. It stops the surveillance state that is being rolled out under the guise of national security. But if we fail, if we let them spin this, if we let them intimidate the Senate, then we lose everything. This is the final stand. The fact that 47 Republicans have joined us gives me hope, but it does not guarantee victory. We must keep the pressure on. We must demand that every single document, every single bank record is made public. Do not let the media normalize this. Do not let them treat this like just another day in Washington. A mass defection of this scale has not happened in modern history. It is a signal that the corruption has become so toxic that it is poisoning the very people who helped create it. The Genius Act was supposed to be Trump's crowning achievement the moment he handed the financial keys to his corporate allies. Instead, it has become his undoing. It was the overreach that woke up the slumbering conscience of the Congress. They realized that if they let him ban the digital dollar and replace it with a private coin, they would never matter again. I am speaking to you now because I need you to understand that we are winning. The intimidation tactics did not work. The revocation of clearances did not work. The threats of arrest did not work. In fact, they backfired. They showed the world that Donald Trump is afraid. And now the fear has shifted. The fear is now in the hearts of those who are still standing with him. They are looking at the 47 who defected, and they are wondering if they should be number 48. They are wondering if they want to be remembered as the people who defended the looting of the American treasury. The 212 votes are a mandate. They are a mandate for truth. They are a mandate for accountability. And they are a message to the rest of the world that the United States is still a nation of laws. The world is watching us right now. Our allies are watching to see if we will correct this mistake. Our enemies are watching to see if we will crumble. This vote proves that there is still life in the American experiment. It proves that when the evidence is clear, when the crime is undeniable, partisanship can be put aside for the sake of the country. But we must be vigilant. Donald Trump will not go quietly. He will burn down the House to save himself. We are already seeing the propaganda machine spin into overdrive. They are calling the defectors traitors. They are calling them rhinos. They are putting targets on their backs. This is the behavior of a mob boss, not a president. And it is exactly why he must be removed. We cannot have a leader who declares war on his own party simply because they refuse to help him commit a crime. We cannot have a leader who holds the economy hostage to protect his offshore accounts. The Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk, was supposed to be the tool they used to dismantle the administrative state. But now it is being exposed as the mechanism for the heist. The defectors realized that efficiency was just a code word for firing anyone who would not sign off on the corruption. They realized that the goal was not a smaller government, the goal was a private government, a government owned by shareholders, not citizens, and that terrified them. It should terrify you too. This explosion of votes is the sound of the American people saying no. It is the sound of the guardrails snapping back into place. But they are fragile. They need your support. You need to call your representatives, especially the Republicans who have not yet defected, and tell them that you know about the Qatar money. Tell them that you know about the deal with Anduril Industries. Tell them that you know about the blocked account. Make them understand that their secrets are out and that they have a choice. They can stand with the Constitution or they can stand with a criminal. I cannot emphasize enough how critical the next 20 to 4 hours are. The White House will try to delay, they will try to obstruct, they will try to claim executive privilege over everything, but the House has the power of impeachment, and that power is absolute. The 47 Republicans who defected have given the Democrats the supermajority needed to control the narrative, to issue the subpoenas, and to force the witnesses to testify. We are going to hear from the bankers. We are going to hear from the generals. We are going to hear from the intelligence officers who were purged, and what they have to say will shock you. The reality is that Donald Trump is not a genius businessman. He is a desperate debtor who used the office of the presidency to secure a line of credit from a foreign power. The Genius Act was the collateral, the Venezuelan oil was the down payment, and the American people were the mark. But the con has been exposed, the curtain has been pulled back. And what we see is not a strong man, we see a fraud. We see a man who is terrified of his own shadow, terrified of the truth, and terrified of the justice that is coming for him. Do not let your guard down. This is the beginning of the end. But the end is often the most violent part of the storm. The rhetoric from the right will get uglier. The distractions will get louder. They will try to start a culture war to distract you from the class war they have been waging against you. They will try to make this about anything other than the money. But you must stay focused on the money. Follow the $200 million. Follow the path from Caracas to Doha to Mar-a-Lago. It is a straight line, and it is a line that crosses every ethical and legal boundary in our system. I am proud of the 47 Republicans who stood up today. I do not agree with them on much. I do not agree with their policies, but today I agree with their patriotism. They looked into the abyss and they decided not to jump. They decided that their legacy was worth more than a temporary alliance with a tyrant. They have given us a fighting chance to save this republic, but it is only a chance. We must seize it. We must push forward. We must not stop until the Senate convicts and the rule of law is restored. The Trump faces arrest headline is no longer a prediction. It is a promise. The legal walls are closing in from all sides. The impeachment is just the political mechanism. The criminal indictments will follow. The evidence provided by the Senate hearing is being sent to the Department of Justice. And even with the purges, there are prosecutors who are ready to do their jobs. The defection of these Republicans gives those prosecutors the political cover they need to act. It signals that the political protection racket protecting Trump is over. So listen to me closely. Do not be discouraged by the noise. Do not be frightened by the threats. We are witnessing history. We are witnessing the moment when the fever breaks. The road ahead is difficult, and there will be more struggles to come. But today, with 212 votes and 47 defections, we have taken the first step back towards sanity. We have taken the first step back toward a government that serves the people, not the oligarchs. We have taken the first step back toward America. We will not go back to the darkness. We will not go back to the corruption. We are moving forward, and we are taking our country back. The explosion you heard today on the floor of the House was the sound of freedom ringing out. Let it ring. Let it echo in the halls of the Senate. Let it echo in the White House. And let it be a warning to anyone who thinks they can buy the United States of America. This country is not for sale. The people are awake, the Congress is acting, and justice is coming. Stay strong, stay united, and watch closely, because the revolution of truth has only just begun.